Deep in the heart of Southeast Asia lies an ancient rainforest, one of the oldest on Earth, a place where beauty collides with danger, and every shadow hides a secret. In Borneo, explorers have uncovered things that defy explanation, some fascinating, others deeply unsettling. Tonight, we'll count down 10 discoveries, starting with the least disturbing and ending with the most terrifying of all. Number 10. In the winding rivers of Borneo, villagers began whispering about a strange reptile, one that looked nothing like anything they had seen before. As fishermen returned with stories of a green creature leaping from the water and into their boats, the legend of a jungle dragon began to spread. When scientists finally examined it, they discovered the water dragon of Borneo, a lizard over a meter long, its back lined with sharp crests, its movements so sudden it startled even seasoned locals. To the people who live along these waters, it was no ordinary animal. It was proof that myths can crawl out of the jungle and into reality. And that's why it opens our countdown of Borneo's most unsettling discoveries. Number 9. Deep inside the Sarawa Caves, explorers stumbled upon markings that didn't belong to nature. Faded lines carved into the stone walls revealed human hands that had touched these chambers thousands of years ago. What they found were petroglyphs, strange figures and symbols etched into the rock, some resembling animals, others distorted human shapes. The air inside was heavy, as if the walls themselves carried the voices of those who once gathered there for rituals. Archaeologists believe the carvings could be over 2,000 years old, possibly linked to burial ceremonies or offerings to jungle spirits. But the most unsettling part is how some of the symbols don't match anything known in local traditions, leaving their true meaning a mystery. Standing in the darkness of those caves, surrounded by silent drawings from an ancient people, explorers describe the feeling as if they were trespassing into a place not meant to be seen. That's why the Sarawa Cave petroglyphs take the 9th spot on our list. Number 8. The jungles of Borneo are not just home to wildlife. They also guard tribes whose lands remain shrouded in secrecy. Among them, the Penan people, one of the last nomadic groups of the rainforest. Over the years, stories have emerged of outsiders, explorers, loggers, even researchers, who vanished after venturing too deep into Penan territory. Some believe they were swallowed by the unforgiving jungle, while others whisper about encounters that ended in silence. What makes these disappearances so chilling is the lack of evidence. Personal belongings are sometimes found abandoned, but no bodies, no clear answers. The Penan themselves live with deep respect for the forest, guided by traditions outsiders may never fully understand. For those who entered without permission, the line between natural dangers and human warnings becomes impossible to separate. In Borneo, the jungle doesn't just hide creatures, it hides people too. That's why the mysterious disappearances around the Penan Tribe earn the 8th spot on our list. Number 7. High in the cliffs of Borneo, explorers found something they never expected: coffins suspended above the jungle floor. These are the hanging coffins of Borneo, a burial practice used by ancient tribes to place their dead closer to the spirits of the sky. The sight is haunting. Wooden coffins wedged into rock faces, some centuries old, their surfaces weathered by rain and heat. Inside, skeletal remains still rest, exposed to the elements, as if watching silently over the rainforest below. Anthropologists believe this ritual was meant to honor the dead and protect them from wild animals on the ground. But locals say the spirits of those buried there never truly left. Travelers who venture near often report an oppressive silence, as if the cliffs themselves are alive with unseen eyes. Standing beneath those hanging coffins, it feels less like a graveyard, and more like a warning from another time. That's why they take the 7th spot on our list. Number 6. In the heart of Borneo, explorers once stepped into houses where the past was kept on display. And it wasn't just artifacts they found. Hanging from the beams of longhouses were human skulls, trophies from the notorious headhunting traditions of the Dayak tribes. These skulls were not relics hidden away. They were displayed openly, some decorated, others blackened with age. For the Dayak, each skull represented power, protection, and a spiritual bond with ancestors. The practice was outlawed decades ago, yet entire collections remain, silent witnesses to a violent history. What makes the discovery so unsettling is the atmosphere within these houses. Visitors describe the sensation of being watched, as if the empty eye sockets still hold the memory of battles fought and lives taken. The jungle outside is alive with sound, but inside, among the skulls, silence dominates. It is a chilling reminder that Borneo's darkest stories are not just myths. They were lived. That's why the Headhunter Skulls take the 6th spot on our list. Transition. So far, we've seen creatures mistaken for dragons, mysterious cave carvings, and even the haunting legacy of headhunters. But as we move deeper into the list, the discoveries grow darker and far more disturbing. Number 5. In the depths of the Sarawa Caves, archaeologists uncovered something that sent shivers through the scientific world. Buried beneath layers of soil were mummified human remains, some dating back over 40,000 years. What makes these finds so terrifying is not just their age, but their condition. In the damp darkness of the cave, several bodies were found partially preserved, with traces of skin and even hair clinging to bone. To stand before them is to face people who walked this jungle tens of millennia ago, their silent forms frozen in time. Researchers believe the cave served as both a dwelling and a burial site for ancient communities. Yet locals whisper that the spirits of the dead still guard the chambers, and that those who disturb them risk never returning to daylight. The Sarawa Cave mummies remain one of the most unsettling encounters with Borneo's prehistoric past. That's why they hold the 5th spot on our list. Number 4. Legends in Borneo speak of a creature that walks like a man, but isn't human. Deep in the rainforest, explorers and locals alike have reported encounters with the orang pendek, also known as the batutut. Described as a short, muscular figure covered in dark hair, it moves silently through the jungle, leaving only fleeting glimpses and strange tracks behind. Some accounts tell of it watching from the shadows, while others describe it vanishing before anyone could get close. Scientists have tried to link the stories to misidentified animals, like orangutans or sun bears. But the footprints found in the mud, smaller than a human's, yet distinctly bipedal, suggest something different, something that science has yet to explain. For villagers, the orang pendek is not just a tale, it's a warning. They believe it guards parts of the forest no outsider should enter. And for those who have come face to face with it, the fear is unforgettable. That's why it takes the 4th spot on our list. Number 3. In the swamps of Sabah, villagers began to find the bodies of giant crocodiles. But what horrified them were the wounds. Some of these reptiles, feared as the top predators of Borneo's waters, were discovered torn apart with strange markings no hunter could explain. The locals soon revived an old legend, the demon crocodile, a vengeful spirit said to haunt rivers and lakes, punishing anyone who disrespected the jungle. Stories spread of glowing eyes in the water at night, and boats overturned without warning. Biologists suggested disease or territorial fights between the crocodiles, but the cuts and gashes didn't match typical animal attacks. To the villagers, there was no doubt. Something far more powerful was at work beneath the surface. For those who live near these waters, the fear lingers every time they step into a boat. Because in Sabah, even the most dangerous predator might not be the one you should fear the most. That's why the demon crocodile of Sabah claims the 3rd spot on our list. Number 2. For scientists, Borneo is a paradise of discovery, but some findings were so dangerous, they were never meant to be touched. Deep in its rainforest, researchers have documented previously unknown species. Snakes with venom so potent it can kill in minutes. Insects carrying toxins capable of shutting down the nervous system. Spiders whose bite leaves flesh blackened. Many of these creatures had never been cataloged before, lurking in the shadows until human curiosity stumbled upon them. The unsettling part is how quickly new species appear. In just a few years, hundreds of previously unknown animals have been identified, raising the question, how many deadly creatures still crawl unseen through the jungle floor? For locals, these discoveries are no surprise. They've long warned outsiders that some parts of the forest are cursed, inhabited by spirits that strike without warning. For scientists, though, the truth is even scarier. Nature itself may be the deadliest spirit of all. We've seen creatures mistaken for legends, ancient skulls, and deadly species lurking in the shadows. But nothing compares to what waits inside one of Borneo's darkest places. A discovery so overwhelming, even seasoned explorers described it as a living nightmare. Number 1. In Sabah lies the Gomantong Cave, a place that looks less like nature and more like the mouth of hell itself. The moment you step inside, the air thickens. Millions of bats cling to the ceiling, their screeches echoing like a swarm of demons. But the real horror is on the ground. Every surface crawls with cockroaches, centipedes, and rats feeding on the endless rain of droppings and carcasses falling from above. Walls appear alive, shifting and writhing as insects move in waves. Scientists study the cave for its unique ecosystem, but locals warn that it consumes everything that enters. And when explorers describe the sensation of standing there, surrounded by a world that breathes, crawls, and feeds, it becomes clear why Gomantong is called one of the most terrifying places on Earth. That's why it takes the number 1 spot on our list.